You want to get rich with your bags of Verasity, Multivac, and Trias, as you hear everybody on crypto, Twitter, and YouTube saying BTC to 100K in December, because you know what that means for your altcoins. But let me give you the key levels that you need to know for each of these coins so that you could properly turn the dials of your expectations and ignore all the other noise. You ready? You better be. The key indicator for each of these three coins, no matter what I say, and I'm going to give you levels on each of these coins, okay? No matter what I say, the main key levels you need to watch for are right here, period. Bitcoin. You need to draw this line on Bitcoin, and you are looking for a daily close. So whatever happens on Multivac Price, Verasity Price, Trias Price, yes, you might have the edge of it happening now per the signals I provide. Once those signals happen, you might have the edge of them playing out as of now. However, you can feel even more confident after you get a daily closure above this line. However, I want to give you one warning, and so you can visualize this if something that could happen on Bitcoin to make this a very, very, very boring December. It could happen. I simply want to show you the possibility. Do I think this will happen? Do I want this to happen? No, obviously, no, I don't want this to happen. However, it's just in a trading channel, and what could happen is it gets only halfway up, then bases again, and it doesn't fly until, late January. That could easily happen, all right? Even with the closure over this line I'm telling you to draw. So the main line that actually might end up turning into focus is the bottom of this channel. However, let's make the guess that Bitcoin will go from bottom to roughly top of the channel in December. So we are making those assumptions, but you need to know these two lines, the horizontal at 60,800, you need to draw that in, and you need to draw the bottom of that trading channel because that could turn into the focus. So now we're going to start with Trias. Let's get it. Trias, you're going to want to flip to the weekly chart. I'm going to use the weekly chart on each of these with exception of Verasity, because Verasity moves a little bit differently than these other two. All right, so in one of my previous videos, I mentioned that specifically on Trias, I am interested in buying Trias between $12 and $10. And I even got the comment, well, you really think it's going to be over a 50% correction? I mean, just let's see how well that panned out for me. So here's $10 and here is $12. Not bad, huh? All right. So now, did I give those targets originally? No. Right? I gave the target of 1440 originally. That was one of the first lines I drew. Then the second target was that. But as Bitcoin got weaker and weaker and weaker, then I put my targets down and I didn't draw those in. So on Trias, you're going to want to flip to the weekly chart. Here is your key level. I have two of them for you, actually. You're going to want to draw a line at $30.79. When Trias can close a weekly candle, so not during the week goes above, that doesn't count. If it's like Friday or even Saturday, it doesn't matter. If it closes one above this line and starts a new weekly candle above this line, also above $30.79, that could be kind of moonish time for Trias, where it should really, you could start getting into the doubling territory within a week or two. It could really, really start moving. But in the interim, to get to that point, the level that you're going to want to draw in, even though I think this is a daily level, so I did this on the daily chart, you're going to want to draw in, you're going to want a daily closure between somewhere in the box of $21.70 down to $20.80. So from 2080 to 2170, a daily closure. You're going to want a daily closure there. So once you get this daily closure in this box, let me skedoop this out. Once you get a daily closure above there, then Trias should make its way on daily candles up to $30.78. And then when you see a weekly candle close above $30.79 is probably when you're going to moon. Now, in terms of sell points, well, I'm going to probably give most of that information to my community first. And then after those are set, maybe, I'll probably have to kind of skedaddle around that within YouTube. However, these are the key two levels that you're going to want to look for. Make sure you draw them in your chart, Trias fans. Make sure you have them in there. Hey, now's the time to flip your phone or get flipped off. Hey, Dan, what does that mean? It means literally your phone's horizontal. Flip it vertically so that you can hit the like button, and you guess what is going to help me out even more if you leave a quick comment, even if it's a simple period without the tampon. Yell something very random. Tell me your favorite coin outside of these three. Let me know your thoughts, and so you're going to help me continue making videos for you. But how am I going to help you even more? If you hit the bell, because this is time-sensitive information. The bell will help me help you. We're in this together. Hit that bell. All right, let's jump back into the charts. Okay, now we're going to flip to Multivac. I'm going to say Verasity for last because it's going to be a little bit trickier of a play. And for Multivac and Trias fans who aren't as interested in Verasity, well, you might want to check out my Verasity analysis as well, because there will be a point in the near future that your coin is going to behave the same way. So Multivac's read actually is a lot simpler. So the closer that a week, so I'm going on the weekly chart. Okay, weekly chart, you're going to want to draw this box in, folks. I'm telling you, even if you don't like looking at the weekly chart, draw in this box. Okay, Multivac folks, because this one's a very, very high probability / easy read. So if a weekly candle closes near the bottom of this box, your probabilities of the next week being big and green is pretty high. And why I say that is, I don't know which is going to be the stimulus for blast off. It will either be a weekly closure above all these guys here, these candles, or these ones. All right. It might not need to close above these because it's been ranging so long. It might not. I'm simply getting that feeling. So if you get a candle closure here, it could be that the next 2 weeks are big and green. All right. At the bottom of the box. However, your probabilities of 2 weekly consecutive green candles increase if a weekly candle can close over the top of the box. However, I want you to draw this box because there is a solid chance with, let's say Bitcoin really does start moving in December. There is a chance that that Multivac price simply doesn't wait for that weekly closure. It wicks above, the week closes here, then it has 2 massive green candles. I think that type of play is in play, in which my general rule for you need to close over the top end of the range. This is a setup where that could, be not true. I mean, and so similar to how on Trias, I said Trias might be a candidate to close really high above the horizontal, and it really screamed up, and it actually closed kind of high. It did come back down, but this could be a kind of the same thing here. But what also could happen is this very week could close in this box, and then it just takes off. That could easily happen over the next, 18 days, 20 days or so, over the next 3 weeks, because we're early in this week. So this candle is less than 24 hours old right here. This is a weekly candle. So you can see here on the right-hand side of my screen where it says it has 6 days and 5 hours left. That means out of 7 days in a week, it is less than 24 hours old. So that's the box you want to look out for. And if you keep following my channel and watching these videos, I'll walk you along, and we'll have this box here. And then what we'll do is we'll zoom in on things like the 1 hour chart, and then we'll pull up EMAs, and we're going to see how it starts bouncing around. So similar to here, you can see how the 1 hour, it used it as resistance, broke in fully. So what you're going to want to see is it use it as support or just to blast right through it. We're going to walk through on the lower end chart as Multivac gets in there. So now I'm going to jump into Trias. Or not Trias, but Verasity, sorry. Let's jump into Verasity. Okay, so I'm going to go to the daily chart on this, right? So, hey, look at my original box that I drew for Verasity in terms of a buy-in. Yeah, it's a bigger box, but it got the lows pretty well, right? Because you don't expect to try to catch wick lows, ultimate lows and stuff. So those weren't bad targets for this dip here. All right, in retrospect. So on Verasity, the way it's moving on. So let me show you. So for the Trias and Multivac fans who are staying for this, it's a wise decision that you are, because this is moving a little bit differently. And I want you to see this because this will apply to both Trias and Multivac sometime in the near future, likely before the end of the bull run. So right now, your weekly candles are kind of sloppy. So what I'm trying to figure out is, okay, what does Verasity need to do? Where do you need a closure on what time frame, right? So that you can expect Verasity to fly up at least to these candle closures here. There's really not a whole lot there. There's nothing that aligns. It's a little sloppy. The closures are sloppy, essentially. So what you could say on the weekly is, okay, just give one single target of here, which is 8.7 cents. Yeah, you could say that. However, I want to give you a second target where you could say, hey, if this happens and Bitcoin is behaving, it's likely going to fly up to this next line, if not pass it, and then use it as support. So if, a middle point happens, it might fly up past, use it as support, or it might fly up to it, get rejected, come down here, and then, fly thereafter, assuming that Bitcoin, resumes its potentially bullish trajectory for December. So in order to get that level, right, I have to go to the daily chart because it's a much less sloppy. So it's similar to my Multivac analysis. The higher in this box or above the box that a daily closure, so you're going to want to draw this in, Verasity fans. So let's say that a daily closure pops up and closes above this line. okay, that gives a high probability chance that the next couple days price will race right up to this line here, to the top line of 0.087. Okay, it makes it very probable. However, and so that's based off closing above this local high. But Verasity starts picking up pretty fast sometimes. It has the habit of, you only have to break your more adjacent or your closer local highs, not the ultimate local high below the ultimate high. A lot of times it only needs to close above this one in order to then, so let's say it closes, a daily candle closes in the box. Sometimes you get just bam and bam right afterward, only closing above this local high as opposed to this one, right? So if Verasity price can close above this one in one fell swoop, then yeah, you have a chance, honestly, that this is broken and you come back down and wick down and use it as support and keep carrying onward. You really do. And at that point, once you get a daily closure at or above and the next candle goes above that box, hopefully you draw that box in. I'm giving you the exact levels. Please do this on your chart. Is then you're going to want to flip to the weekly scale. If a weekly then can close above 0.0727. No, 0.0873. So equals weekly closure, then blast. So after that first condition happens of a daily closure in this box, then you assume, hey, it's going to, fly up to here. Then you want to flip to the weekly chart and say, okay, if it's midweek, like Wednesday, right? And price flies above this line, I still should expect a retrace that week because it's likely that the week will want to come down and close closer to this line. That's why this line is so important, right? Okay, and Verasity has the habit of doing that, right? And it could just be, it flies up, it comes down real quick on Sunday closes, and it keeps flying up. It could be something like that, but you want this line on here and understand that this is the weekly, because understanding how the weekly candles move and the probabilities of flying over a key horizontal, so that means you could take profits and then buy, like sell, for example, 10% of your Verasity with the strong probability that the tether from that 10% of Verasity, if that week flies up midweek above that line of 8.7 cents, you have a strong probability with that 10% now in tether that you could buy back closer to the line, maybe for a 15% discount. Does that make sense? That's why that line specific to the timing on the weekly close is so important. So draw that in and label it weekly closure, kind of like I do. So this box is daily closure and the top line is weekly closure. You want to draw this on your line. Hey, new viewers, if you don't know how to set up a chart, you want to be able to follow me along a lot better, you're going to want to click the video that's popping up right here, or will be popping up right here. And for returning viewers, if you missed one of my Bitcoin analysis, you're going to want to watch this video here as well, because you're going to watch me play Monopoly and roll some dice. It's a cool learning lesson. And make sure you hit like and subscribe and hit the bell if you're new. We'll see you next time.